G'day guys, Morezy here. Welcome to just a very quick spur of the moment series called Morezy's Maintenance. In this series I'm just going to run short videos on myself fixing people's elevator problems. As you may know, I get a lot of requests to fix people's elevators. It can range from very simple problems to very complex problems, and most of the time I can fix them. And I've probably fixed upwards of 50 or 60 elevator designs so far, individually by hand, and just sent them on back. So I thought it might be fun and interesting just to do one on a recording, and that way you guys can see how I think about things and how I solve the problems. I generally don't know what's wrong a lot of the time, and it's just a matter of working it out before you can actually fix it. So I've got my overalls on, as you can see. I've got my redstone torch tucked into my belt there, and we are about ready to go. Okay guys, so this world was sent to me by Timothy Baker, and Tim says, Morezy, love the design and have spent a while making it myself. However, when I turn my elevator on, the top pistons just keep going up and down, never stopping. Any ideas? So Tim runs this server for his friends and family, and he's built this really cool tower over here, and obviously my elevator is going to be right in the middle there, so let's go and take a look. Now the first thing you want to do when we're fixing things, whether it's an elevator or any kind of redstone contraption, is we have to look at what the problem is and what it's doing and what it's not doing. Now from the description there, it sounds like Tim says the top elevator keeps going up and down, and we might actually just go to our sounds here and put our blocks down a little bit. So first thing we want to do is switch this thing on, and hopefully we don't get too much lag here. Running a few things in the background at the moment, so okay, here we go. So if we fly up to here, there we go, we can see that this guy has released automatically and is making his way down to the bottom. We can see Tim's got some signs here saying out of order, take the side ladder. You can see that bounces back up the top. That's normal behavior, but what's not normal is that it doesn't stay up there. So when this comes up, let's just do this. With the luxury of game mode 3, let's just see what happens as it's going up here. So it's coming all the way up there, and it's meant to come up to the top here. Okay, so it's supposed to stop at that obsidian, but instead it keeps going down. So there's our first little problem. Oh, maybe not get stuck in the wall. Okay, let's go back here to game mode 1, and let's take a little look here. Okay, so this is where the problem is, and if we look here, the repeater's working fine. This is obviously connected to the button there, but there is a problem here. So the elevator should be stopping here, and the way it stops there is by being powered. Now when it's powered, it should extend the top piston and hold the other one in place. You can see here that it's actually not, it's actually missing a little bit. So if we put a block here, there we go. So what's happening here is this block is being powered now where it wasn't before, and it is powering that piston in a bud effect. So it's powering it diagonally. So that piston's staying put, which makes the other piston stay put, and that is your problem. So that one was a pretty simple one, although it's simple when you know where to look, of course. Now the other thing about fixing elevators and redstone contraptions is to check how it actually performs, time set to 0, how it actually performs when you've finished fixing it. You want to make sure that it actually does do what it's supposed to afterwards as well. So I'm just, sorry Tim, just wrecking your tower here. So what we want to do now is let's just go back down, and we want to make sure that it's functioning normally. Of course, because it hasn't worked to start with, Tim hasn't had a chance to test it completely, so there could be some other issues here. So let's see, that's stuck up there now. Let's just make sure we can actually go down. So the lights all turn off all the way up, so that's a good sign. And we'll make sure that that piston gets released. And it doesn't look like it's being released. Alright, so here we are in the top, and there's our piston set just there. Now I notice he's got a lever here. I'm sure that's just temporary, but if we flick this, it does actually go down. Now that's stopping there because it is a lever, so if we get rid of that and put a button there instead, like that. So that is working from here. So what that tells me is between this button and that button there is a problem. So this one works, but that one doesn't. So let's take another look inside here. Okay. Right, so this button powers this bit of redstone, which turns off that torch, which turns off that torch, and, well, that unpowers this line, which releases the piston. Now, normally, when we're down the bottom, it's a similar sort of setup, except it's these torches that get powered. So let's just follow these torches up and make sure they're all okay. Okay, so here is where the button is. This torch goes up through here and up through there, and then it stops. So that tells me this is actually not even connected to this part. And this is one of the things that happen when you have an early issue. You don't get to see that there are other issues as well. So I could have sent this back to Tim, but he would have run into another problem, and we don't want that to happen. So, how are we going to fix this? Well, what we need to do is we need to use this tower here. So this tower is mainly just for these comparators to run, and once they're running, then that's sort of all we need for that. However, let's try. We can remove this torch, we don't need that. We can remove this one, we don't need that either. Now this one here is where we want to connect. So at the moment we're using this button. So we're using this button to unpower this torch. So we want to do something similar. We can see that this is actually on at the moment. What if we break that and put a dot of redstone there? And when we push the button down the bottom, that will now actually power that and move that up. So let's just go down and just make sure. Sorry for wrecking your house there, Tim. Alright, so elevator down. So the lights all turn off, that's normal behavior. And does the piston get sent down here? Yes, it does. Awesome. So that's that part fixed. We'll just check as well to make sure we can still go up here, which I'm sure we can. Let's just do it now. Okay, this will probably stop and turn around. Yep. That's fine. I just pushed that a bit too early. So that's working fine. And I just noticed up here, I'm sure it's just because he hasn't finished yet, but we don't have a... Whoa. We don't have a button on this side here, so we can't call it up yet. I'm sure once he removes this ladder and pushes a button here, he can call it up. However, of course, when you're up in the tower, you probably got up here by using the elevator, so the elevator should stay up here. And yeah, so that should be about it. Alright, well guys, that is just a bit of a demonstration on my process for fixing these kind of elevators. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight, and hopefully this helps Tim out a bit. I asked him if I could make a video and he said yep, no worries. So thanks very much for that, mate. And there is your build, very cool. So that's it for this one, guys. Now if you have similar problems with elevators that you've made of mine, let me know, and if you want to write down in the comments, I'm looking to do a few more of these just to show people a bit more on how to fix these things themselves. So that would be cool. And yeah, I'll just do an episode whenever I can and just try and get this out so people can see how to fix this thing. That's about it, I think. Oh, one last thing, just a quick PSA, public service announcement while you're here. If you've been having problems with the slime block elevators and falling through them, recently I've just done a few little tests, and if you put a minecart in your elevator, it will locate your player a lot better. So if we go, let's just get a bit of slime block here, and we put a slime block down. So some of my slime block elevators, people were complaining that they were falling through, and I've experienced that myself a little bit. But if you get a minecart, and all you have to do is put a piece of rail there, and put a minecart on top, and then you can either break the rail or just leave it, and use that to ride the elevator. So click into the minecart and then hit your buttons, and that will actually help to prevent you falling through the blocks, because minecarts' positions are calculated a bit more accurately. Anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed this little fix-it episode, and be sure to put in the comments if you want me to do the same for your place. I've got a few already lined up that I'm planning to do, and it's just a little bit of help to show you how to fix these things and my process that goes into it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you again next time.